Well, hello and welcome back to another edition of the Journal. In this edition, Dave, Mike, and I are going to drive up to Palomar Mountain, California, and we're going to watch the Perseid Meteor Showers of 2021. It happens every year about August 10th, 11th, somewhere in there. And this year is no exception, so we're going to take a drive up there, set up a camp at the Observatory Campground, which is just a few miles below the Hale Telescope. And as soon as night falls, we're going to hang out in our beach chairs and watch the meteor shower. And then the next morning, we're going to take a drive to Palomar Mountain State Park and do about a 6.5-mile loop around the state park, and also stop by the world famous, well, it's world famous to us down here, Boucher Lookout. It's a fire lookout tower that's on the base of the edge of the mountain and has tremendous views looking to the west and to the north. And we also get a rare glimpse inside the fire tower and get a peek at what the life is like as a fire tower lookout, as we get to go inside and talk to the guy in there. So anyway, that'll all be coming up in this edition of the Journal. Stay tuned. Let's head up to Palomar Mountain and check out the Observatory Campground and our hiking trail around the Mountain State Park. Alrighty, see you in a minute. The beautiful forest and mountain meadows of Palomar Mountain State Park are located in the northern San Diego County area, high atop the west side of Palomar Mountain. Large pine and fir and cedar trees make the park one of the few areas in Southern California with a Sierra Nevada-like atmosphere. The mountain features camping, picnicking, hiking, and fishing in Dome Pond. Coniferous forests cover much of the upper elevations in contrast to the dry lowlands surrounding the mountain. Elevation within the park averages about 5,000 feet above sea level, making evenings cool even during the summer months. A number of vista points offer spectacular panoramic views both westerly toward the ocean and inland toward the desert, particularly from the Boucher Hill summit, which has also been listed in the Sierra Club's 100 Peaks section since it was first published in 1946. Now, I always thought the Fire Lookout was pronounced Boucher, like a rather French-sounding name. However, I was corrected by the Fire Tower Association volunteer, and it's actually pronounced Booker. The Boucher Fire Lookout is a fully functioning fire tower located within Palomar Mountain State Park at an elevation of 5,438 feet. We got lucky and got a chance to go inside the Fire Lookout Tower for a first-hand look of what the views were like for a volunteer in the fire tower. We were also treated to a friendly lesson on what exactly goes on in the fire tower and what equipment is used and how to use it. The first tower was built in 1921 and replaced in 1934. The current building was built in 1948 and was fully refurbished in 2013 through the magnificent efforts of the San Diego Riverside chapter of the Forest Fire Lookout Association. The tower was constructed and placed into service in 1948 and rests on a 16 by 16 foot base with a tower height of approximately 30 feet. The California State Parks Department recently spent $343,000 on site improvements. A planned proposal calls for the ongoing tower restoration and the creation of a living history museum. Boucher Hill is a California Registered Historical Lookout, and in addition to their lookout duties, our volunteers are all trained as docents of Palomar Mountain State Park. The San Diego Riverside chapter of the Forest Fire Lookout Association began staffing the tower with volunteers for fixed-point fire detection and visitor interpretations in 2012 and achieved a goal of 100% staffing during the 2014 fire season. The Fire Tower Association has achieved the 100% fire season staffing for every year since the few exceptions that were due to weather or similar personal considerations like COVID. Maybe one day I'll get a chance to become a Fire Tower Association volunteer and spend some time high up in my very own fire tower. Well, let's head up the mountain to the Observatory Campground and begin our adventure on Palomar Mountain. All right, well, we're at Palomar Mountain State Park. We're going to go on a little day hike today. We're going to go from Dome Pond. We're going to go up the Thunder Springs Trail to the Silvercrest Trail, work our way over to Boucher Hill, and go up to the top to the Fire Lookout Tower, and work our way back around to Dome Pond. It'll be a round trip of about 6 miles or so, give or take. It's going to be a little warm today. I'm already hot. We just started, so we're taking a little lap right now around the pond. we just gotta look out for any trail markings that we'll see as we head. But behind me here is Doan Pond. I'm actually surprised there's still water in it. And there's a family of red-headed woodpeckers in front of us. So just flew away. Actually, there's still like 3 or 4 of them. Doan Pond is right over there. This stuff right here they call a nickname mountain money. And what's great about it is this is pretty sturdy material. And what's great about it is if you ever go poop in the woods and you need something to wipe with, this is what you look for. Well, we finally reached Chimney Flats. We went up the Thunder Springs Trail by Doan Pond. Climbed quite a bit, actually. It was mostly in the shade, thank God. But it had some uphill to it, so we're sweating pretty good. But now we've reached Chimney Flats, and we're heading over toward Park Service Road. You can hear vehicles straight ahead. We're heading west now. There's quite a bit of poison oak here, just keep that in mind when you're out here on the trail. Some quite a few tree squirrels. That's about it so far. And if you like fields and fields of poison oak, you got it here. At least the trail's wide here, so you can easily go around it. And the other good thing is, because it's not quite fall, but it's getting closer, you're starting to see the colors as the poison oak turns into a angry red. As we're heading up toward the road that leads to the park entrance. All right, well, we've been up the road a ways. Oh, here's a nice warning sign for mountain lions and poison oak. It says 1.5 miles to the camps. Nice little steep incline. This is the road that leads. Oh, there you go, Chimney Flats Trail. 1.1 to the Upper Doan Valley Trail. It's actually a park road. Yeah, we're on the Silvercrest Trail. And it looks like we've got a really good view down valley. Looking to the west toward the ocean, you can't see it. It's in the marine layer and the haze. The big casino is down there. Over on the left, that's Hellhole Canyon, Paradise Mountain, and Rodriguez Mountain. As we're looking to the west. Well, looks like we're heading downhill along the Silvercrest Trail, and we're working our way over to Boucher Hill, which is over there. But in the meantime, we have to go through this little fern field in the sun. At least there's a little bit of shade. I mean, a little bit of breeze up here. We got tremendous views off to our left, to the west, overlooking the, I guess the Palma Valley Rincon Valley down that way toward the ocean. But we're going to continue downhill a little farther, and then we're going to head straight up to Boucher Hill. As we're working our way down the Silver Crest Trail, looks like maybe we're coming to the, maybe this is a Silver Crest area. We're going to be going that way, along the edge here. How sweet is that? This is nice. And yet another warning sign for mountain lions. This is like our fourth one. Well, we're in the Silver Crest picnic area. What a phenomenal tree. And there's not just one, there's several of them here. See a woodpecker in the distance. Even this one over here is pretty spectacular. Wow. These are old cedars. Looks like they've even got a little place for a barbecue. Looks like we got some rangers taking a break over there. All right, well, we took a nice long break, 20 minutes maybe, at the Silver Crest picnic area. It was a really nice area. Lots of great picnic tables on stone pedestals. Had some nice stone barbecues. Some absolutely amazing cedar trees, incense cedars. Well, some of them had signs. One was over 400 years old, easily over 100 feet high. And on the one side of the Silver Crest is the complete view down to the west toward the ocean, and then on the other side is the view east, which is this direction here over toward Palomar and the observatory. It's actually beautiful up here, and because you're at the top end, you get that great breeze coming in off the ocean, blowing across the top of the mountains. So we're going to continue up. This is going to be the tough part for us. It's going to be this climb up Boucher Hill up to the Fire Lookout Tower. All right, well, we're along the Boucher Trail. We're not too far from the lookout. And we have a view looking, I guess it would be, I'm going to say northeast. And down there in the bottom is actually the Doan Pond and the parking area. You can actually see from a distance, you can see the parking lot. That's where our vehicle is. So we have to go up here to the lookout, work our way around to the left, and work our way down, back down toward Doan Pond. And we finally arrived at the Boucher Lookout. It looks like it's open, and there's a fire service volunteer manning the lookout. We're gonna go take a look at this. It talks about the lookout. There's a good informational sign here at the top. Well, the Boucher Lookout fire tower is right behind us, and they actually have a volunteer there. It's actually working, so we're going to go up and check it out. We're actually in the Boucher Fire Lookout Tower, and we're working our way up these steep stairs. So what exactly is this? You said it was called
It's called the Osborne Firefinder because of, by a fire lookout by the name of Osborne designed it. Still utilized today in fire lookout towers. So what we do is we see smoke, we rotate this, point it at the smoke, look through the sight on this side, line up the crosshairs over here. The outside has, the circle has 360 degrees. So if I look down on the little arrow over here, it's going to point at a number and it's going to give me the bearing of where that smoke is being observed. So that's kind of the easy part, turn this, point at the smoke and get the bearing for it. The challenge is how close and how far away is this.
Yeah, so you got to estimate the distance.
So you got to estimate distance.
Okay.
So the example I like using is behind you out there, there's kind of a little peak that's kind of pointed right out here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I see some smoke on the other side of that. So I've turned this and line it up with that and look at it and I go, oh, I got about 172 degrees. All right, so there's my azimuth. Well, now how close is it? Well, on the top here, there's a map. And out here, if I look at the map, I happen to know that that's Rodriguez Mountain. There's Rodriguez Mountain. Now on this side, this metal ribbon is a ruler. And every 1 inch is equal to 2 miles with the calibration on this map.
So somebody calculated all that when they built this back in the day.
Oh yes. So if I take the inches out here to Rodriguez Mountain, that's 7 miles from us. So now I get on the radio, I call my dispatch and say this is Boucher Lookout, I have a smoke report, it's at 172 degrees, it's approximately 7 to 8 miles because it's on the other side of the mountain. And then I'm going to describe the smoke. First I'm going to start with color. We prefer it being kind of white or light because that usually means it's still in lighter grassy type fuels. As it gets into heavier brush, it's going to start turning more brown. We don't like seeing black. Black means it's very dense, heavy wood.
Like structures.
Could be big trees. Likely not a big tree burning unless it's a huge fire, but yes, likely then some type of structure, or could be a vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Not the wood, but all the plastic and rubber burning. So we provide that information, and then the dispatch takes the azimuth, that distance, puts it into their computerized CAD, and it'll come up on a map, and then they know where the closest fire stations are. So those will be the first units called to dispatch, for that fire.
All the Forest Service volunteers giving us a really good detailed history behind the Boucher. I've been saying it Boucher, but I guess it's Boucher Lookout, and what their functions are, what their hours are, and how the system works, and how their sighting system works, which is some phenomenal information you don't normally get. Because a lot of times you go to these fire lookout towers, they're closed, they're not open to the public. And today we were fortunate enough to be able to come up here on a for the most part, clear day, and get some much needed information on what the Fire Lookout Association is all about and what it takes to become a fire lookout volunteer. And in the meantime, I'm going to stand up here and get some fresh air because it's really nice up here, nice and cool. And now looks like it's a little bit cloudy. Clouds are starting to come in. And he was telling us the history of some of the fires that have happened down here. So I'm going to shoot a little more video, then we're going to allow the next group to come up. Well, we've come down 0.9 of a mile from the Boucher Fire Tower, crossed over a little fire access road. Now we're on the Adams Trail, which looks like it's heading down that way. We're gonna go in between Dome Pond and some buildings on the left. I don't know if that's a camp, summer camp or a Christian camp. And then Dome Pond should be directly in front of us. A little ways, a couple of miles. So we're heading down toward the valley. Yeah, you can see the buildings and the camp over there. So it's still pretty warm. It's 1 o'clock, and we're still sweating pretty good. We're in partial shade, which isn't too bad. So at least it's downhill, thank God. Well, our trail has become narrower and a little more overgrown here in the Adams Trail. Oh yeah, the Baptist Trail. I did see that one on the map as well. So we're hiking through the fields here, working our way over toward Dillon Pond. Well, we made it back to Dillon Pond. This has been our loop. We did a 6.2 mile loop. We went up trail around the pond to the Thunder Springs Trail, over to the Chimney Flats Trail, up to the top. Then we hooked up on the Silvercrest Trail, went up to the Boucher Trail, up and over that, came down the Adams Trail, went through the Cedar Grove group camp area, and then we ended up on the Cedar Grove Trail all the way down here, back down here to Dillon Pond. So it's been quite the navigational trip through Palomar Mountain State Park here in San Diego County. So hope you enjoyed this episode of the Journal. It's a gorgeous day out here in the park. It's a little toasty. It's probably in the mid 80s, but we've got some cold beer in the car, and we're looking forward to it. So anyway, I'll catch you next time in the next edition of the Journal. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, you know, when I was setting up camp there at the observatory campground, I was so busy tending to the Dutch oven and the camp stove and the coffee and the fire that I really didn't get a chance to do a lot of filming, which is kind of a bummer for me. Normally I do a lot more filming. I did take some pictures, and I'm going to put those here together in a string at the end. But I made a blackberry cobbler in the Dutch oven, and also we made some tremendous hamburgers. They were some half-pound hamburgers with brioche buns and grilled onions and some aioli mayonnaise, and that was actually pretty good too. And then in the morning we had this great big breakfast that I did on my 75-80 year old Coleman stove, and we had blueberry pancakes and eggs and bacon cooked right on the campfire. So that was, for me, that was one of the highlights, as the camp cooking and the camp food. And even though I didn't shoot any video of it, I do have some pictures, and I hope you enjoy the photos as well as I enjoyed the food. But the highlight of this adventure was the hike, and I'm glad you enjoyed the video of the hike and our special treat to get to go into the Boucher Fire Lookout. Thanks for watching Anthony's audio journal, and I'll catch you next time on another venture. Take care. Bye-bye. Actually kind of a lot. It doesn't flash up or anything like that. This is the glycerin. It takes a few minutes to...
Okay, put some more of that on too, more than normal.
Oh God!